Negotiations, the federal government and organized labor settled for 70,000 naira for Nigerian workers during a meeting at the State House in Abuja. Well, after that meeting, leaders of organized labor expressed confidence in the Tinubu administration, singing his praise. Three bosas for the president. Bosa, bosa, bosa.
In Africa, continua. Victoria, Asata, wasting Nigerians time with strikes.
Are we serious on this?
From 650,000 to 70,000. In Soweto,
Okay, we're laughing here. Well, all right, let's take reactions from users on social media. This is from Michael, who wrote, "How time flies. From we won't shift ground to 615,000 naira demand to 3 bosas for the president. This is the story of labor on the national minimum wage journey. 70,000 naira is the consensus. Those who are expecting the national grid to be crippled are angry." Well, Falabi wrote, "My opinion, 1, 70,000 naira as workers' minimum wage is a fair bargain. 2, the purchasing power needs to be increased urgently and importantly. 3, major consumable food prices needs to be worked on because Nigerians are hungry. 4, basic healthcare services should be free nationwide with NIN cards for pass. 5, state and federal government should improve all healthcare centers across 774 local government areas. 6, we need clear blueprint on how federal government plans to assist private sectors to meet up with the national minimum wage. 7, then the minimum wage will have value." Well, this person wrote, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday increased the minimum wage to 70,000 naira. That's about $45 and to be reviewed every 3 years. Is this minimum wage a living wage in Nigeria? What can it do for a family of at least 4? How much is a bag of rice? Which university will this be enough to pay school fees for? Well, I mean, there are a lot of reactions. Ayo, I mean, that other Twitter user, was talking about the fact that, federal government have to also negotiate with the private sector to be able to come up with that minimum wage. But it's not just the private sector. I believe also state governors will have it. They are the key, because also in the release that Ajuri Ngelale put out yesterday, I think President Tinubu also said something about moving away from the tripartite committee, saying that, almost alluding that this is a federal government wage, but it is a national minimum wage, and the state governors have to abide by it. Are they able to pay the 70,000 naira? These are the questions that are out there.
Are businesses enabled to afford that amount of money? Because we keep talking about the fact that the private sector employs this bulk of Nigeria's workers, and they said explicitly that they would struggle to pay at 62,000 naira. So having it at 70,000 naira, I don't know what the options would be for them. But going back to organized labor, because I think that it's an important conversation to have. Earlier on, I'm glad that video has been played, because they said that no, they were just singing the song as part of the end of a meeting. So whether good or bad, they will still sing the song. They even gave 3 bosas. I don't know if that's part of organized labor's closing anthem, where they give 3 bosas to the principal in the room. But it was celebratory. It was like they'd achieved something really big. And I have to say, to reiterate again, that the feeling of disappointment is as a result of the stance of organized labor all this while, including a strike action, to say that we're not shifting. Of course, we all said it on this table that 615,000 naira, even 215,000 naira, 50,000 naira was unrealistic. And we talked about this and argued this point to them a number of times, that people, especially the private sector, the state governors, could not afford this. However, why continue to take people on a cruise, if I use that word, and then end up at 70,000 naira, rejoicing at the prospect after saying that you wouldn't shift? They said that the reason why they shifted was because the president promised them more infrastructure. I wish we'd get him a detailed time, based on timeline. When will this be achieved? Because the CNG buses were still waiting for some of these ones. And so I don't think it's enough. I think they sold the Nigerian workers short at that meeting, and it also makes them lose credibility and trust of the people in terms of really representing their views.
Yes, I mean, I'm glad you also raised the CNG buses, part of my story. But let me take another reaction. This person wrote, Nigerian senators are pocketing 1.2 million naira as hardship allowance. But we are jubilating over a new minimum wage of 70,000 naira. Well, you know, I know you want to speak. In the meantime, members of the House of Representatives have agreed to cut their salaries by 50% for 6 months as part of their solidarity and sacrifice to support the economic hardship in the country. Well, according to Daily Trust, slashing their salary of 600,000 naira monthly by 50% for 360 lawmakers will equate to about 108 million naira monthly for the next 6 months. I think this is a great gesture. I mean, I think it passed yesterday, but obviously during that meeting also, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised to donate 36 CNG-powered buses to the Nigeria Labour Congress and to the Trade Union Congress. The CNG-powered buses will have a sitting capacity of 100 each. You're smiling. Go ahead, Rufai, quickly.
Solidarity forever. We shall always stand on cruise. That's what Labour has become. The Nigeria Labour Congress is a big joke. Ojo, let's tell ourselves the truth. This Labour led Nigeria on a wild goose chase. At first, they brought some professor here that said they calculated empirically 650,000 for Nigerians. when they went back to collect 70,000, what happened to the empirical calculation? I saw their rep this morning trying to justify, said they were going back to be able to talk. They've accepted it already, and that's what befalls all labor unions. This Labour is a joke, and I say it to their faces. What happened to the reduction in electricity tariff that they advocated? What happened to the CNG boys that they've been talking about since last year? What also happens to the welfare of the workers? So they say because of the economic condition, they accepted 70,000 naira, despite all the strikes and everything they had gone through. You see, what they have done is that they've lost credibility. When they call the next time, Nigerians should never take them seriously because they're a bunch of jokers. As regards the, the National Assembly, Oji, you might call it a good gesture. I laugh in Spanish or in French or Chinese. The real meat of their money is in their allowances.
Yeah, that's why I read 1.2 million.
They are collecting 1.2 in hardship allowance.
Hardship allowance.
And they say their salaries. No, if they are truly ready, let me give them an advice.
Yes.
I think by the budget, both houses or the house, they collect about 300 billion for the National Assembly. They should put that money in half and use 150 billion to do projects for national development for Nigeria, fix some roads, fix some schools. Then I will know they are serious. As far as I'm concerned, they are not serious. And the other 36 CNG buses, yes, we would like to see when Labour finally gets it. It's not today we're talking about CNG. And hopefully they should also remember that they must put CNG stations around available so that people can be able to get the gas.
People like you, Rufai.
Yes, can be able to get the gas. So, Oji, you know, it just reminds us of the fact that the Labour is a sellout. Some civil societies are sellouts in this country. For other parts of society sellouts, the National Assembly rubber stamp, executive always doing their bidding. The problem with Nigeria today, Oji, is that there are too few people fighting for the common man.
That is it.
And guess what? Edward Murrow said something. He said, in a country of sheeps, the government will be the wolf.
Yeah, I like your point. There are few people fighting for the common man, which will also bring me to my next story. I mean, we're talking about increasing